Alright, well, here we go. We're trying it. Wow, we're already live. That was quick. Wait, is it showing up on the screen? There we are. Alright, so there's no one watching this currently. Let me just make sure everyone's aware that I'm live. Oh, why is the screen like that? Why is my aspect ratio like that? Hold on. Can I change this midstream? I don't think I can. That's annoying. Oh, it's because it's outputting into 4K for some reason. It's decided to output into 4K. I didn't mean to do that, but I guess you have to deal with it. Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. Today we're gonna be breaking down Legend of the Sea Devils and the trailer. And also going over some news, some leaks, stuff like that. I apologise for it being in 4K, it wasn't intended, but you know, unfortunate side effect. Going live for a few years. Hello everyone, people are starting to pile in. Afternoon, it's going alright. For a few hours. Here we are, just letting the Discord know, so they're made aware. There we are. Okay. Hello, welcome to the stream. How's everyone doing? How are you doing, Dennis? You doing alright? Good. Yeah, so the purpose of this stream, we're just going to be breaking down some of the stuff. I don't know whether there's a way I can change the aspect ratio mid-stream, because that is annoying me a little bit. We're going to be streaming for a few hours. We're going to be doing a lot of breakdown-y, discussion-y stuff. And actually, let's get some music on. Let's start the stream off right. Let me just see. Oh. If I can do anything to make this a little bit better. Yeah, no, I can't resize it. Oh well, there we are. The stream is like this now, I guess. I can't do much about the aspect ratio. Is that the Cyberman on the left? Yes, it is. It's Dennis. He's doing all right. He's doing very well. He's just watching over this. Yeah, purpose of this stream, we're just going to be breaking down some stuff. I, again, apologise for the weird aspect ratio. Hopefully it's not too disturbing. If you're on mobile, which some of you probably will be, then, you know, you should just be able to just crop that bit out. How's the music volume, by the way? Is it too loud, too quiet? What are we thinking? I'm trying to turn it down a little bit for me so I can listen to it, but it's not too loud. How are we looking? Hello there, Dennis. Hello! Aaron, you need to change your resolution. The current resolution, which is not supported for this configuration. Okay, how the hell do I change that? It's fine, okay. I'm just gonna carry on. You know what? If it gives me errors, then we'll just hope that this stays up. If it doesn't, then there we are. So I guess we should, yeah, basically what we're gonna be doing, I've got Legend of the Sea Devils open in a separate tab. Obviously I'm not gonna be playing it, because, you know, BBC copyright and stuff, but I want to break down the episode in a bit more detail. I also want to, you know, go over some leaks and some news items that I've seen. And yeah, we're just going to have a bit of chill stream. So, grab some popcorn, I guess. I've got a drink here, got some Pepsi. And we're just going to have a fun time. So, yeah, obviously, as you all know, donations are available if you want to do it. I will say, if you want to ask any questions, then best way for me to see it is for you to donate, because it'll flash up on screen if you do. So yeah, bearing that in mind, let's start with the breakdown of Legend of the Sea Devils, because I want to go more in depth on this, because like obviously when I did Legend of the Sea Devils before, along with the Centenary, it was very quick after the episode. So I want to go more into detail with some of the stuff that happens in this. So right off the bat, something I want to make note of in this episode. Before that, I'm gonna make sure we're muted so that the BBC can't copy strike it. We get a shot that says 1807, and immediately that's not a great start, because it's that Chibnall trope of, okay, let's put the date on screen and the location on screen. Obviously, you know, I'm not saying it's a huge deal, but it was just a tip off for me very early on in the episode. You know what? I'm gonna turn off the music while I'm doing the breakdown. I think that would actually be easier. There we are. Yeah, so the sort of, like, the tip-off for me that, oh yeah, this is definitely still a Chibnall episode was the immediate showing of the date, which again is fine, but it's just a Chibnall trope that you'll observe. I don't know what the colour grading of this episode is. Like, they make it very dark, and I don't know why. Like, if you look at some of the filming images that were released a while back, like, the beach shots were really like quite vibrant and sunny, you know, which is a rarity for Wales. So why they've decided to cover that up with greyness, I'm not sure. We cut to this village of people who are protecting the Sea Devil statue. And we get introduced to Madam Ching. Now, Madam Ching, I was talking to JXE the other day about Madam Ching. Like, she was completely wasted by... Oop, that's the wrong tab. She was completely wasted by this episode. There was no use of her beyond just, I'm a pirate queen! Anyway, and it's a shame because Madam Ching herself, as Jay was telling me, very, very interesting figure in history. She started out as, I don't even know whether I can say this word on YouTube, she started out, let's say, as a certain type of worker that was involved in intimate acts, if you can get what I'm getting at there without me actually having to say it, because I don't want this stream getting taken down. She then married a pirate king, and then raised his ship numbers from about like a few hundred to like almost 2,000 ships. She introduced taxes into the pirate world and made like a whole pirate society. Very, very interesting historical figure. From what I understand, they basically just went, yeah, she's a pirate lady. So I don't know why they felt the need to waste her in the way they did. I think the actress does a decent job, but like I say, they do waste the potential of this character to an extreme degree. Like, as Jay described on Twitter, it would be like getting Vincent van Gogh and just saying, oh, he was good at painting, and that's it. Like, it's kind of on a similar level to that, which is a real shame. You know, I kind of wanted more of exploration of her character. Plus, in one image, you can see a hole in the neck of a sea devil. Can you really? That's interesting. The Cyberman is the Cyberman bad. The Cyberman is bad. Hello, Chuck from Southern California here. Wow, we got someone from Southern California. What time is it over there? Because it's like nearly 1 o'clock for us over here, so I'd imagine it's quite early for you lot, right? I'm the grandson of a famous artist. Yeah, the font is nicer at least. That's true. It is a bit less garish, the 1802 font. But yeah, so Madam Ching arrives in this village, and we get introduced to young Pirate McGee #1, along with his soon-to-be departed father. The reason I say soon-to-be departed is because, well, he's dead. Well, obviously. And yeah, we get some brief exposition here about, oh, protect the statue, you know, when I'm dead. Because I think, okay, so this is something that did confuse me initially. I think the way they got rid of the Sea Devil is they zapped it with the keystone thing, and that made it into a statue, right? So it made it into this. I think that's right. Honestly can't tell. And the whole idea is they protect the statue now to prevent the Sea Devils from being unleashed. And then obviously Madam Ching breaks it in an attempt to get the keystone, which she wants to find the... oh no, or is it like a map to the treasure? You know what, let me just double check that. I think it is, yeah, no. It's a map to, I think, the treasure, the Fleur de la Mar. But in the process, she awakens the Sea Devil, I think. I think that's right? Can someone in chat, if I'm wrong, correct me? Because I'm not sure. Hang on. Yeah, if someone in chat can correct me if I'm incorrect, then go for it. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yeah, someone make a note of that. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So basically, she cuts out this piece of stone that's a map to the treasure, I think, and also, right, so yeah, that happens, and then the dad basically goes, stop doing that or I'm gonna have to like kill you, and then she's like, no, I'll kill you, and then so the Sea Devil gets unleashed from its little stone prison thing. This kills Mr. Dad McGee in the process. He dies. He doesn't die. Why? I don't know why it keeps going so dark immediately after I've gotten a part of the image. And then we get where's the shot of the Sea Devil? The annoying thing about iPlayer, right? You can't go pixel by pixel. It's very annoying. They just sort of yeah. So the Sea Devil breaks out of the stone statue, which is what I'm assuming is happening here. And then, as I said, Dad McGee dies. The Sea Devil kills him. Title sequence. Apparently, I don't know whether this is accurate, but the title sequence here is actually the Series 11 based one, rather than the Series 12 and Flux one, which is a bit brighter. So that's an interesting point of note. Yeah, this episode somewhat is just kind of cobbled together in some aspects as well. Interesting to note that, let's see if I can get it at the end. No, go back, go forward, go back. Okay, no, it's not gonna make me show it again. There we are. Okay, so here, if you notice, it says Ella Road and Chris Chibnall, implying that like Ella Road did the lion's share of the work on this episode, because traditionally, if Chibnall's like co-written an episode, it's normally his name that goes first, and then whoever the co-writer is, right? But the fact that Ella Road was listed here first makes me believe that the majority of the episode was written by the Ella Road, and then obviously Chibnall added in bits. Yeah. So there's that, and then we cut to the fam, new fam. I don't know what we call the Dr. Yaz and Dan, but they arrive at this very dreary... Again, this is what confuses me about this episode. If you look at the filming images, this looks quite bright and colourful, so I don't know why they felt the need to make it look more smoggy and dreary. Like, you'd think for a fun pirate episode you want to go in the other direction and make it look really bright and colourful, but they instead make it look like the dullest beach possible. Pirate ships there's cool, though. So yeah, we get the Doctor and crew land, we get Dan in his pirate outfit, which is like a little joke for the rest of the episode. He shows off his hook claw. I do like this TARDIS exterior, always have done. Obviously, the Doctor and Yaz are in more appropriate Chinese garb as well. The thing is, that's an interesting point of note. So they say in this scene, the TARDIS gets dragged off course from where they want it to go, yet they emerge in Chinese appropriate like clothing, with the exception of John Bishop, I guess. So were they always intending to go to somewhere like in China? Because they say they were off course, but then they emerge correctly dressed, unless, you know, the Doctor could like scan where they were, where they landed. But no, actually that's not true. Sorry, there's an ice cream van. That's not true, because once they do land, the Doctor scans being like, oh, we're way off course. Hang on, let me find it. Yeah, you can sort of see here, she's scanning to see where they are, and they're way off course, yet they're still dressed for the environment, which is very odd. Because that implies that that's the first time they've realised where they are. So why are they dressed appropriately? Other than John Bishop, as I said, but the reason he's not dressed appropriately is for the comedic effect. And then this scene confused me on broadcast. So I think what happens here is 13's earring thing gets pulled by the magnetic field, because obviously it's metal. Which apparently somehow is what leads the TARDIS off course, somehow. And then they skim some stones, and then, you know, it's revealed that they are moving because of the magnetic field. And that's why they like move the other direction. And then I don't know what happens here. Do they hear something? I can't remember, because I can't play it because the BBC will claim this video harder than you know, anyone. So yeah, I think they head towards the village. We get our shots of sea devils killing people, and then they just abruptly introduce the sea devils are here now. There doesn't feel like there's much build up to the reveal of the sea devils at all. It feels like it's just kind of happens. It's just like, oh, there's a Sea Devil, cool. Here are the Doctor and crew reacting. Yaz's face in this poor shot is very funny. I do like the nickname Land Parasite that the Sea Devil gives them. I think that's a somewhat funny like name, because like obviously Sea Devils aren't technically called Sea Devils. It's just something that a fisherman bloke calls them in the first episode. And then, yeah, that's just how that's done. So it's kind of cool that gets referenced in this episode as an insult. I kind of like that. The ice cream van might persuade you to go to the beach. Maybe, you know, maybe it's all a deliberate ploy to get more beach people. Maybe. I doubt it, but you know what, maybe. The TARDIS is so strong it can resist the pullback of a black hole, but a magnetic field that slightly pulls the Doctor's earring pulls it off course. Yeah, apparently. That makes no sense to me at all. Like, what? Yeah. Jodie's a wonderful actress, but they didn't seem to trust her to do anything but a sunshiny disposition. The thing is, right, from what I've seen of Jodie, like, Jodie seems to do better when she's, like, doing darker characters. So it makes it kind of weird that, like, they've made her play a really sort of bubbly character for the majority of her run. Like, you could just turn stuff... Oh, that's a better idea. Why didn't I think of doing that? That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? See, good job you lot are here, otherwise I would not be very good at this. I'm not with you guys here, to be honest, but, you know, you make me look vaguely more competent, rather. So yeah, what I was just going to check was, they're coming, the demons. What's the geomagnograph disturbance? Oh, okay, so they hear screaming, and they head over towards the village, which is implied to just be just past the beach. We get our shots. I don't know what it is about this episode, man. The Sea Devils just... Like, the design is great. I just don't think they look that good in motion, if I'm being completely honest. Ooh, stop right there. Yeah, I do like the nickname Land Parasite. See, when they're still, right, when they're not moving, Sea Devils look good. When they try and move, it looks wrong. Like, I can't describe it. It doesn't look right. Who are you? Right, here we go. So this is one of the bits that people immediately picked up on. Where the hell does the net come from that they catch him in? Where does it come from? Like, they've just arrived at this village, from what we've been told, seconds after they land. So where the hell does the net come from? It comes out of nowhere. It's just randomly there. Oh, we'll get to the jumping on the boat ship, don't you worry. We're going to get to that. Don't you worry. But yeah, where does the net come from? Like, they arrive in this village 2 seconds ago, and somehow there's already a trap conveniently prepared for the Sea Devil to walk into. I'd assume that there was originally a cut scene that explains this. I mean, I'd hope there was, but in the episode we get, it's just kind of there. It makes no sense. So then we get the reveal of the pirate ship. Pirate ship actually looked quite cool. I think it's one of the better parts of the CGI that was done, was the pirate boat ship. It did give me sort of Pirates of the Caribbean vibes, which is a good thing. Peter Pan vibes as well, which I liked. You know, I thought that the ship looked nice. Oh, we're gonna get to the Mario jump. Hang on, I want to see the Mario jump. So the Sea Devil's like showing off his pirate ship, and then we get this beautiful specimen. Truly, you know, a scene for the ages. I think we can all agree. The Sea Devil Mario jump, which is just incredible. Like, let's just stop and analyze the scene here. So, what's interesting about this, right, is that we know that the Sea Devils can climb the scaffolding to get up to the boat. But rather than do that, they were like, no, let's have him jump up onto the ship and do this really, really bizarre Mario-style jump in which, like, if he hadn't have been artificially dragged in, like, post, which is what would happen, like, trajectory-wise, there's no way he's making this jump, right? Like, I know it's a sci-fi thing, but, like, there's no way, like, given how you know, low his jump is here, there's no way he's making it up there normally, which is why it looks so weird when he jumps. It looks like this. Hang on, go a bit further forward. So you want to go a bit further forward without completely skipping it. Okay, so then we've got the shot of him landing, and then we got the shot of the reveal. I need the bit in between. Basically, yeah, so that jump looks just really bizarre. I don't know why they just didn't have him climb to the top of the ship. Like, it would have looked less dramatic, I guess, but it would have also made more sense and not look like that. So I don't know why they... I assume, right, what happened was Chibnall just wrote in the script, Sea Devil, you know, jumps on the ship, you know, to go, and they were like, okay, how do we direct that? How do we translate his words into the script, into the... you know, onto the screen, and they were just like, well, we'll just have him jump all the way from here to here. It looks really odd, and like this was the first part of the episode where I was just like, what the hell? Like, I think I audibly, first time this was broadcast, was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? Huh? It looks so odd. Hang on, I can probably play a little bit. Like, what is that? What is this? What am I looking at? It looks so... It was like full-on, like, Spy Kids level physics. It's like, it's really weird. And then we get the Sea Devil proudly showing off his little motley crew of other Sea Devils. This guy... I want to know this guy's story. This guy who always looks zonked out of his mind whenever, like, anything is, like, happening. Like, I want to know his story. I want a Big Finish spin-off with that Sea Devil. I want to know... what led to him being there? You know, why does he look like that? I want to understand his story. I want a Big Finish spin-off with him. But no, so we get this sort of shot of the Sea Devil revealing his crew. And then they just sort of bugger off for a bit. And then we get Madam Ching's holding the stone map to the Fleur de la Mar. And then Madam Ching, who's the same person who recruits him, like, not 40 minutes later in this episode, you know, is threatening to kill this kid. So, you know, his anger towards Madam Ching in this episode is kind of, you know, rightfully there. Like, not only has she basically caused the death of his father, but also threatened to kill him on multiple occasions. I wonder where that'll go in the end. That's what we call foreshadowing in the industry. That's some foreshadowing right there. Sea Devil weapon, sorry for your loss. Madam... Oh, yep, here we are. Here's the one reference to Madam Ching. Jodie just goes, Madam Ching, Pirate Queen! And that's all we get. And it's very odd. And I don't know why there wasn't more to this. There just isn't. That's all she says about her. And then we move on. Because this episode is... incapable of stopping for a second while simultaneously dedicating time to weird things. We get some exposition about what she's looking for, the lost treasure of the Fleur de la Mar, which she is hoping to use in order to pay off another group of pirates who kidnapped her crew. Which, like, that makes sense as a motivation, like, that's fine. Pulse feels way beyond anything feasible for 19th century humans. Well, yeah, because wait, that's Sea Devils, right? We know. Unless, wait, what are they scanning for here? Is it just? Oh no, is it the amulet that they're scanning? What are they scanning here? I'm not sure. Can someone, if you can get like the episode up, someone tell me what they're scanning here, because I don't want to get it wrong. I want to make sure that if I am analysing this episode, I want to analyse it correctly. But as far as I can tell here, it's just, I don't know, it's just a random thing that they're scanning, even though we know it's not, a human object, because we've just seen, the statue, okay, it's the right, okay, thank you. Statue energy, thank you. Okay, imagine a world where this episode was good. I know, right? What a bonkers reality that would be. Shame we don't live in that one. Yeah, so... Oh, hi, Crispy. Spy Kids level physics is the new fave tip. Thank you, Crispy. That's literally what it reminded me of when I saw it. I was like, that's like some Spy Kids 3D level, like, stuff going on there. Like, oh, part of me, like, obviously I don't want to be too mean, because, like, I understand, like, with any piece of media, right, like, it takes effort to make. Like, this would have taken effort to make. But I just want to know, I want, like, a behind-the-scenes documentary of how this episode made it out like this in some areas. Because it is just really weird. So, yeah, so she scans the statue, and then we get the boy talking to Madam Ching for a bit. What do they say? Do they say anything? I mean, the subtitles aren't coming up, so I take it not. Well, we get another cool shot of the ship. I think the ship looks really nice. Like, the ship looks nice. I like the ship a lot. I think they could have done, you know, more cool stuff with the ship. Like, I think, you know, it would have been very fun if, like, so you know how the other pirates, I guess they have a ship, right? What if, right, here's just, if you wanted to make this a really fun episode, you know, just random idea, you know, what if, because we know the Doctor, well, I mean, at least in the first episode, remember in When We Fell to Earth, it's kind of established that this Doctor's a bit of a tinkerer, you know, she creates her own sonic sort of thing. What if, you know, using some Sea Devil technology and some leftover Time Lord technology, they make the other pirate ship fly, you know, the one that they use, the one that Madam Ching uses when they're fighting that weird thing that we don't know what it is. Imagine if, like, the Doctor augmented that with some alien technology, so they have, like, they both fly, and then you could have, like, this flying sword fighty battle thing, very sort of fantasy-esque. I think that would have been quite fun, but we just have the one flying ship. I get there's probably budget, right? But still, you know, I just think, like, something like that would have probably made this feel more fun, and it would also explain why later on in the episode we have a scene in which they have to jump back to the flying ship from a ship that's on the ground, and yet they somehow managed to do it, despite the fact that they'd nowhere near be able to jump that high. So if they had two flying ships, that way you'd fix that plot hole, essentially. So yeah, that's just a little thought I came up with. You know, we don't have to do that, but then we get a shot of the Sea Devil. Does he have a name, the captain, or is he just Sea Devil Captain? They showed me no mercy. And then we get a shot of, I don't know, they just look so dirty. It's funny though, like, I'm not insulting it. Like, this one is, what's this guy's story? I want to know, like, they all look so happy to be there. It's just, it's quite cute actually. The call went out and awoke, and now our time has returned. So, like, their whole plan here is basically, okay, we're gonna restore the Earth to being an aqua ball of sea, you know, before the apes arrived. I'm getting a call from Rotherham Town Centre. I am going to let that go. That's probably one of them calls being like, do you need to pay taxes? And I'm like, no, I don't, because I avoid taxes. That's not true. That's a lie. But essentially, yeah, they say here, like, they want to restore the Earth to being this aqua ball, you know, before the apes arrived, so they can dominate the ocean, the world again, which, you know, makes sense as a motivation for the Sea Devils. Like, it's fine. And then we get a shot of this fisherman. I think that's what it is next, right? Yeah. So this fisherman is fishing, you know, as fishermen often do. That ice cream van has just gone past again. I don't want any ice cream. Anyway, so he's fishing as fishermen often do. And then he's like, oh, there's something under the water. And then this thing, which we don't know what it is. Like, what is this? It looks really cool, but what is it? Like, you know, they never say it's the Merca. It's just a thing. I mean, it looks nice, but why is it here? Anyway, that eats it. It eats the fisherman. And then we get this scene of the younger pirate man being like, I'm gonna kill... Oh, I've gone too far back. Hang on, I've time travelled. It was the Flux's fault. Crap. Okay, so we get this scene between Dan and Thingy being like, oh, I'm gonna get revenge for my, like, dad. Yeah, make sure my father didn't die in vain. So yeah, like, you know, and he's obviously, you know, willing to protect the statue now. So it seems like he wants to kill, or at least is not going to be friendly with Madam Ching. I wonder how that's going to develop. Like, foreshadowing again. So, I'm not going to let her get away. So yeah, we sort of imply here that, he's naturally kind of peeved off that she kind of caused the death of his father. Obviously, the Sea Devil technically killed him, but if the lady hadn't released him, then, his dad would still be alive. But he isn't, so yeah. So then, the Doctor and Yaz go back to the TARDIS with the plan of basically, okay, we'll go back in time and see what happened to Thingy's ship, because that's where the treasure is. And then we get what is, I would argue, the weirdest line in this episode, and I want to deconstruct this exchange, right? So for context, for those of you who aren't aware, I suppose the Sea Devils and the Silurians, I guess, for those of you who aren't initiated, their whole sort of gimmick is, they were here before us, on Earth. Like, they existed on Earth before we did. So the whole sort of gimmick is they have about as much of a claim to the planet as we do. So often in Doctor Who stories, the often approach that will be taken is like, the Doctor will seek to try and, have there be peace between humans and Sea Devils / Silurians, depending on which one the story is dealing with. But in this story, upon the Doctor telling us that they have a claim to Earth, despite obviously, like, they have a claim to Earth because they were here before humans, all that Yaz does is respond, hang on, let me get it, that's not good. And that's never challenged, and we move on. And what's really weird about this is that, like, as I said, the Doctor would often, like, preach for diplomacy with the two races and, encourage the humans and the Sea Devils to coexist. And this isn't even just a Sea Devil exclusive or Silurian exclusive trait. This also happens, obviously, for those of you who are unaware, in Day of the Doctor, when the Zygons, who are disguised as the humans, and the regular humans are debating, how they're going to coexist on Earth. And that happens in two stories there, the Doctor and the Zygon superpower. In this, she just goes, yeah, alright, yeah, that's not good, we need to, like, get rid of them. And she also says earlier on, they regard Earth as their own planet. Which is weird, because they don't regard Earth as their own planet, it is their own planet. Like, objectively, they were there for, like, it is also their planet. So saying they regard Earth as their own planet as if they don't have as much of a claim to it just feels really off for the Doctor's characterization. And I understand, like, I am, going in depth on this, but it's something I noticed with, like, Chibnall era politics, where they'll kind of, I did a whole video essay on it, actually. Hang on, I'm going to link that in chat for those of you who haven't seen it. Talking about how, Chibnall era politics is actually kind of less woke than it traditionally is in Doctor Who. So let me get that up real quick. I'm going to link that in chat for those of you who haven't seen it. But yeah, essentially, this is just another example of where the politics of the Chibnall era feel really off. And not in, like, the way that everyone describes them as. They feel off in the sense of, like, the Doctor wouldn't normally be this, just blasé about the idea of, Sea Devils just being evil. Obviously, I know they do say later on, they imply later on it's, a rogue batch of Sea Devils, right? It's a rogue batch, they say something like, are you the bad bunch of the species? Or something to the effect of that, right? Which would make sense, but they never, like, confirm that. Like, the Sea Devil never goes, why, yes, we were exiled from our species. And even if they were, to be fair, it would still be weird for the Doctor to not say that they have a claim to the planet. So yeah, that line to me is the weirdest one in the episode, and I think what's weirder about it is that Chibnall literally wrote the Silurian two-part for Series 5, so he's capable of writing Sea Devils, and, Silurians, Homo reptilia, as they're referred to, under the umbrella term in the Doctor Who world. So him doing this feels especially off. Obviously, I know it's Ella Road as well, but, like, you'd think for someone who's such a diehard classic fan, they'd know, yeah, that the Sea Devils kind of, like, do have a claim to the planet as well, but that's just kind of glossed over. And they're kind of just treated as, any other monster, really. And that's a shame for a villain that hasn't been seen for around about 40 years. So it's weird to me that they've missed such a fundamental element of what makes these villains like what they are. So yeah, that is really odd to me. So they go and pick up the lost treasure. That's where they go. John Bishop swims to Madam Ching's pirate ship along with the younger pirate kid. And then they quickly get captured. There's a joke about John Bishop's age, which is kind of funny. And then she just like manages to capture them both and like swing them upside down. And I would say I know she's like a competent pirate, so like that makes kind of sense. But it is weird that like she managed to take on, you know, and like flip up like. Obviously, they just cut to this. I mean, it is comedic effect, so I'm not gonna, you know, critique that too much. But it is like, how did she get them up there? So then, yeah, she's mocking them, calling them stupid stowaways, all the rest of it. She basically is like, if you want to live, you're gonna help me on the ship. You're gonna help me get this thingy, this treasure, so I can get my crew back. And then we have the Doctor and Yaz land in... Do they say that? I think they do say the time period. Let me get it exactly. Yeah, here we go. 1533. So we get another one of the date reveals. So what I will defend about this, right, is a lot of people were questioning the costume of... I think it's Yi Sun or Yi Kun. I'm really not sure. Like, but a lot of people were questioning his outfit because... You know, that's from the 14th, 15th century, whatever. So they were like, why is that in an episode set in, I think it's like the 18th or 19th century? But like, in the episode they do explain, to be fair, Ji-hun, thank you. So they explain in the episode, yeah, he's from that time period. So it makes sense that he would wear that outfit. Like, it is period appropriate, I think. So I'm cool with that. Like, you know, that's fine to me. So we get them landing on this ship. They throw people overboard, including the like great granddad of the other guy. And then for some reason, in sort of typical Chibnall era fashion, like they decide to just say what's blatantly obviously going on. They say he's throwing them all off. It's like, yeah, we know, we can see it, but for some reason they feel the need to spell that out. And then we get, okay, so I want to know this, right? Like, what is the reasoning behind? Let me get it. What's the reasoning behind like the Sea Devils apparating in mist? Is that a thing they can do? Like historically, you know, teleport? Maybe they can. Admittedly, I've not seen the full Sea Devil John Pertwee appearance properly. Like, I've seen bits of it. So maybe someone can tell me in chat if, like, that's something they can do, is teleport. But I've never seen them do that. So, and it looks, like, very, very, very advanced for, like, an Earth-faring species. Steam is wet. No, they can't. Okay. So that is something that's newly introduced in this episode, then, that they can sort of just do. It's just to show off the sea. Yeah, I guess. It is still weird, though, that that's just a thing they can do now. It's just apparate anywhere. I feel that underwater, like, before the Flood 2-part format would have worked better for the flashbacks to flesh out the Sea Devils more. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what would have made the pacing better. Maybe just add 20 minutes to the plot, I don't know. When Yaz bends down to look at the seabed, the background of the top... Does it? Okay, we're going to get to that. Don't you worry, William Bryce. We're going to get to that. So, if we carry on, so as I said, the Sea Devils just sort of apparate for some reason. They don't explain why, they just do. They do that now. The Sea Devil is in league with Ji-hun, this guy. So apparently he made a deal to protect the crew, I think, in order to... What do they want him for again? Do they want the ship? Yeah, no, it's the ship they want, right? So they they betray Ji-hun, and then the Doctor and Yaz head back to the TARDIS, and they go into the future where the ship was and try and see, what happened to the treasure. And then we get some reused shots from, I believe this is Arachnids in the UK, just slightly different color grading here. So yeah, interesting that's been reused. I mean, I don't take an issue with that particularly, but it is interesting to note. And then we get what is probably the best scene in the episode, in my opinion, the underwater sea scene. Just taking a drink. The underwater sea scene where where the Doctor and Yaz discuss their feelings, and we also get introduced to Chompy McGee. Let me get it. So yeah, this shot is genuinely really nice. Like, if more of the episode was like this, I think, a lot more people would have come out of it being like, yeah, this is a good episode. Not even just visually, but like, this is the one decent character-like moment between these two characters. I mean, maybe the beach scene as well, but I think for me this is like the best scene in the episode. Mainly because it feels like it's been given time to breathe. The one thing I will say though about this is the Doctor says, "Not a bad date, am I?" Which just feels like a really forced way to incorporate the whole Thasmin scene. Like, I don't know whether anyone would say that knowing that someone has feelings for them and like not wanting to confront it. Because the whole thing with Jodie is that she's kind of avoiding this topic, right? So her just dropping this line into conversation feels like very out of left field and wrong. And then Yaz is like, yes you do, and then that's the perfect pause frame. And then the Doctor goes, "Oh no, I can't." She looks at Yaz like, "Oops, sorry," like that. And then something's missing. And then they're like, "No ship, Sherlock," which is, a decent pun. The water disappears. So wait, where does the TARDIS background wobble? Do we have an exact? I'm just looking at the TARDIS background to see where it wobbles. But I'm not doubting you. I'm just curious as to where it wobbles. But yeah, so the seabed gets like the fish thing comes up from the seabed. The TARDIS is left floating, which I saw some people take issue with, but like, I think the TARDIS has always been like established to be able to like hold itself, even when like the thing it's landed on is like gone, so that's fine. I don't take much issue with that. But yeah, the sea man comes up from the ocean. They slam the door shut, and so what happens here? Like, so here's my question. How did the Sea Devils get the fish under their control? And what is the fish actually? Does it just transport the TARDIS to the base? Or is the fish actually the base? Like, I'm not sure on that. Can someone tell me, is the fish the base? Or does the fish just transport the TARDIS and obviously the Doctor and Yaz to the base? Can someone explain that to me? Because I'm confused by that. And I need someone to explain it to me. I think it dragged the TARDIS, to the base? They dragged the TARDIS to the base. The fish's base. Oh, for God's sake. So you're saying they dragged the fish to the base? It's a killer Merca. They are bigger than the Merca. They don't say it's that though, do they? In the episode, it's just fans thinking that that's what it is. There's a river reference, right? There is a river reference later on. Now you have me thinking of Pinocchio. Yeah, that's what I mean. Is it a Pinocchio scenario, or does the fish just drag it? Like, I'm confused by that. Not as big as a blue Merca. But okay. I don't know what the difference is between a killer Merca and a regular Merca. A Sea Devil does name it, yeah, but it's not the Merca though that it names it. That Cyberman helmet looks cool. and the shelf of the toys. Thank you. Yeah, no, so no one... it dragged the TARDIS to the base. Okay. Then left to appear on River Monsters on ITV4. Very good. So yeah, so the implication is they get dragged over to some base that's in some location somewhere. They don't say where. It's just their base that exists. Like, this is the thing as well. Because so much seems to be cut out of this episode, you struggle to get a sense of, like, the geography of this setting and, like, where everyone is at any given time. So yeah, the TARDIS gets gobbled up by How to Train Your Dragon 4. They're on the Pirate Lady Madam Ching's ship. And then the stars start getting pulled around, I think, due to the magnetic pulse being affected because the Sea Devils want to, you know, make the Earth filled with water. I think that's what's happening here. Which, you know, fine. Although I think it was Vote actually said that stars don't actually move like that. It would look more like a bowl and, like, sort of... Like, it would look more rounded than them just, like, fluttering about. But, yeah, anyway. They get attacked by... So, they imply that the... Obviously, we get exposition about her fleet. They imply that... Oh, yeah. Hao Shen. They call it Hao Shen. What's Hao Shen? I'm going to Google that. I'm going to give it a Google. Hang on, we're going to Google this. I want to know what Hao Shen is. Hao Shen. Oh wow, Dr. YouTube. What is Hao Shen? Wow. Okay, this doesn't really tell me what it is. Hao Shen monster. Hao Shen monster. So a Shen is a clam monster. Hang on. In Chinese mythology, the Shen or Chen is a shape-shifting dragon or shellfish type sea monster believed to create mirages. Okay. Aquatic dragon. Okay, we never see this one create a mirage. Aquatic dragon. So I'm guessing it's one of these. I'm guessing is what they're implying it is. Or at least that's what the people in the episode believe it to be. We'll see what the Sea Devils name it later on, but I think that's what they're implying it is. So it's from Chinese mythology. I don't think there's any reference to it being like America though. So the fish boy attacks the ship. They fire cannons at it. It spits them back out, which I do kind of like, but the only thing is with it, right? So it spits them back out, and then they explode. And that's not how bombs work. That's not how cannons work, rather. They're just metal balls. They don't have explosive properties in them. So where does the explosion come from? Like I said, these episodes are just full of like little like logical inconsistencies that make it really hard to follow. So yeah, that's just a weird little thing. Like the cannon shouldn't actually explode like that. If you've ever like played like you know, if you play like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, if you ever play that, when you fire cannons at other ships, like it just damages like the wood of the ships, like it doesn't explode them. Like so the Doctor and Yaz get themselves out of the TARDIS. They confront Sea Boy. I will say some of like Jodie's lines in this episode were quite good for like her Doctor, like, oh, I'm only like a kid sometimes. I do quite like, I think this is like one of, in terms of the characterization, I think it's one of the better Jodie stories, but then again, like there is still that weird bit with the Sea Devils, but you know. And I guess also the bit like that's ripped from the Time of Children, which we'll get to. So they're looking for the lost ship. Yaz gives a bit too much away. they're regulating the water that makes it airtight, I think, on their like little B-Tech TARDIS consoles. You talk to secure yourself time to think. Pretty accurate. You're not the same as the other land crawlers. Yeah. There's not much going on in this scene other than exposition. Honestly, the next few sort of scenes are just kind of like exposition about the plot, which we've already sort of gone over. So they take the ship. So, and they say that they basically use it to scare off like what they call the land crawlers, the humans, because obviously at the time pirate ships, you know, big scary, especially if they like fly. People would be like, what the fuck? So yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Do you want to attempt to see the fate of those who resist my will? So they basically give them the guided tour, and then the Yaz goes, what are we going to do to stop the Sea Devils? And the Doctor's like, I'll figure something out. So that happens. They meet up with Ji-hun, who's like, I'm frozen by the Sea Devils, and then he gets woken up. He says that he did what he did to try and rescue his crew. My ship was okay. Okay, so more exposition about the treasure. So, oh yeah, the Doctor's bluff gets called out. It's revealed that she doesn't have the keystone. Brace. And then that whirlwind thing begins. The process to waterify the world begins, I think. Then Pirates McGee, they manage to escape. So this is what I mean, right? Look at the geography of this scene. This is very important for later. So this ship's up here, and there's one ship down here. How do we think that they're going to jump back up? Also, we get a reference to the 11th Doctor with Geronimo, which I kind of like, but it was weird that they repeated it twice. So they managed to escape from... Oh, no. Sorry, it's not that they activate their plan to waterify the world. Basically, the Doctor presses a button that lifts their ship out of their base, and like they meet up with the rest of the crew. Sorry, I was incorrect. We get the guy asking, is that your ship? They go, no, but we've brought a mate. It's Ji-hun from the past. Here's another interesting thing about this episode, right? Like, why is there not, like, any discussion between these two about, like, the differences of piracy in their two eras or anything? They just, like, they barely speak throughout the episode. Like, I feel like if we met up with someone from our past, we'd have a lot of more questions. But, like, Madam Ching's just like, yeah, alright, this guy's here, I guess. Like, so just as Ji-hun explains it can glow unexpectedly, it just so happens to glow unexpectedly. That's nice. So then the Sea Devil captures the guy, has the necklace glow. They take it, I think. I was tricked, you were defeated. The legend told of a keystone that could be used to entomb aggressors. So yeah, it's established that they entombed the Sea Devil with the keystone. No, one of the gems so valuable. So they take it. We don't stand a chance. They put their amulet in the lava lamp of doom. You want to create chaos, shift the current. To be fair, like, it's not chaos, they just want to be able to repopulate, right? Like, that's the vibe. Beeping. Okay, so then, a bit more exposition, and, wait, hang on, no, we haven't seen the scene yet. But you know what scene I'm on about. Hang on, let me go back. Oh well, forget it. Oh, there we go. So we see Sea Devils climbing up, and somehow the Doctor and crew make it back up. I still don't understand how. Also, as I said earlier, why didn't they just do this in the scene where the Sea Devil jumps? Like, why does it have to jump? I don't know. It's coming after me, be ready. And then we have the sword fight, which is, you know, it's fine. Again, it's very dim, so it kind of makes it look a little less interesting. Nice pull shot there. That poor Sea Devil, man. I'm also a bit, like, you know, disappointed as to how easy, like, Sea Devils can get, like, defeated in this story. Like, you know, for, like, the grand return of a villain, then I'll have to make them a bit, like, easy to defeat. But, yeah, so we get some sword fighting with all different characters, which is kind of cool. Then we get to this. So, for context here, for those of you, obviously, who can't hear this, which will be the majority of you, in fact, all of you, because BBC copyright, Ji-hun stabs Sea Devil Man, and the Doctor's like, no, don't kill him, he didn't need to be killed, and the guy was like, he got rid of my crew, whatever, and then, so, a scene later, oh, hang on, I'm gonna go back to this in a moment, but literally, like, minutes later, let me find it. Oh, where is it? Is it when they split up? Here it is, yeah. Not even like a scene later. They just, Dan just like mows down 7 of them. So, and he stood right next to the guy that was lambasted for taking out 1. And it's like, what? Hang on, let me go back a little bit. And it comes back to that thing I mentioned earlier of just, you know, the moral inconsistencies of this era are just so weird. Like, for some reason it's okay for Dan to kill 7 of them, but when Ji-hun does it once, the Doctor's like, no! Why did you do that? It's like, what? And I know, to be fair, you could say, well, the Doctor wasn't here for this, but even still, it still just does ring weird that, like, after being told don't kill things, a scene later, one of the protagonists kills the thing. In fact, 7 things, not just 1. And like I said before, it makes the Sea Devils look kind of weak. And then we get Yaz being like, oh, Dan's like, oh Yaz, why don't you just tell the Doctor? Like, we all know you want to. And then that happens. I apologise for any Scousers in the chat. Apologies for that. What would she say to me? So that they basically, you know, reveal that Dan revealed Yaz's feelings to the Doctor. And then the ship gets like reversed back onto like the shore, I think, again. Oh no, it gets put back in the ship. Wait, which way does it go? Hang on. Does it go back up to the ship, or does it go down? Someone explain that to me. Does it go? Do they restore it back up, or do they restore it back down? I can't tell, because this ship's gone like up and down like 3 times in this story already. So I'm trying to figure out like where did it go? Yeah, someone explain to me that. I remembered your video on moral inconsistencies when watching this episode. I think you missed the river. Yes, I did miss the river reference, but we all know she basically mentions her wife. So yeah, I might come back to that. Another reason they should have played it as the Flying Dutchman. Yeah, that would have been such a fun thing, but they don't do that, which is a shame. They explode because they hit each other. Wait, you're talking about the cannons, but they don't have any. They don't have any explosive properties inside them, so there's no reason for them to explode. Yeah, I can get the river reference back up, but yeah, I think basically things get reversed. Let me just go back to the river scene. In fact, I think that's later on, isn't it? It's not later on. That's about here. I just need to get this out. I think you're one of the best people I've ever known. Why is she one of the best people she's ever known? Like, what? This is my question to like, you know, especially fans of this era. What's Yaz done that's particularly extraordinary that other companions haven't done? Like, genuine question. I want to understand. Yeah, so there's the river reference, including my wife. Which Yaz is like, what the fuck? I don't think that means River's going to be back in the next episode, though. Some point time always runs out. Like, here's the thing. This development feels somewhat natural. Like, you know, the Doctor being like, oops, sorry, I'm going to go too far forward. You know, like, the Doctor's always kind of been like, oh, you wither and you die, that's why I can't, you know, be in love with you. But to be fair, what's the active difference between, like, being in love with someone and being, like, their best friend? Like, it still puts them in danger, I guess. I don't really know what the difference is between those two things. I mean, I guess it's like, you know, the Doctor fears if that they die, that they're like, it's going to break their hearts, I guess. So that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. This whole arc just feels like nothing to me. Like, I stand by, like, the whole Thasmin thing, to me, is predominantly invented in the minds of people who love it, right? And that's why people are so vocally defensive of it, because people have become attached to this idea, and romantically attached to this idea of the Doctor and Yaz being a thing. But, like, if you go back and watch the show, it's really not that well established. The farthest back you can say maybe there's a hint towards it is Haunting. And that's one line where Yaz goes, oh, my person's a bit different, and that's it. And, like, I know people will say, oh, well, in Arachnids in the UK, they say, her mum goes, oh, are you two seeing each other? But that's obviously a joke. Like, a director for Series 11 even came out and said, like, you know, the original plan was for Ryan and Yaz to be a thing. And Matt Stevens and Chris Chibnall had come out and literally said this wasn't planned. So it wasn't planned, right? Like, and it just feels so artificial to me, and rushed, and doesn't make any sense. Like, I kind of get it, like, post-Flux, but even then it's like, I don't know, it all just feels very hollow to me. It just rings quite hollow. Like, when the Doctor says, you know, there's not anyone I'd rather spend this time with, it'd be you. I don't buy it, you know, it feels hollow. But yeah, that's Thasmin for you. Arg. I'm just going to screenshot that because that's funny. I don't know why I find it so funny when they say arg, but there we go. So then Ji-hun fulfills his one purpose of getting out the Doctor out of a situation, right? You know, by sacrificing himself, basically just the same as in Time of Children. The Doctor, champion of life and guardian of all, basically goes, yeah, you can die for me, fine. And like, I know people are going to say, oh, well, the Doctor has done morally questionable things before, you see. And I'm like, yes, they have, but more often than not, when they do happen, like, Chibnall era, they're questioned within the plot, right? So a good example would be the Rachnos in Runaway Bride, right? Like, so the Doctor is basically drowning these Rachnos children, and Donna's like, look, Doctor, you can stop now. I think you need someone to stop you. So in that instance, it's treated as something that's kind of morally questionable. Whereas here, it's just like, yep, this is fine. Yep, I'm just going to let people die for me. And to be fair, I know what some other people are going to say as well. They're going to say, oh, well, they need Ji-hun to die to restore the timeline. They don't say that him being alive really causes that big of a ripple to, like, time. So, if they'd have said, like, oh, I have to die to restore the timeline, I guess it would be more justified. But, like, as is, it's just the Doctor letting someone else do the hero work. How I would rewrite this, right? Because it's literally Jodie's final episode, I put this on Twitter, right? How I would rewrite this, let me get it up. By the way, if you haven't already, go follow me on Twitter. I would appreciate it. It's right here. How I would rewrite this... where is it? No, not you. Ah. Yeah, how I would rewrite this is, here it is. I said, what's funny about this is that it's literally her penultimate episode. You could have written it so she has a heroic sacrifice moment that triggers her regeneration, that she tries to hold off throughout the Centenary, which would also give the Tasman scenes more weight. What I mean by that is, at the end of this episode, they have a whole scene being like, oh, I wish this could go on forever. And that would feel extra tragic if the Doctor was like holding off her regeneration, because she would know it's not going to last much longer. So it would feel even more romantically like, oh shit, this is the end. But no, they just let Ji-hun die, and it's like, alright. Like, I just think, considering it's the penultimate episode, like, something like that would have made more sense. And I know people, you know, the idea of an elongated regeneration doesn't sit greatly with some people, but I still think it would be a better resolution than what we get. So yeah. By the way, if you are enjoying the stream, be sure to like it. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. But yeah, like, he just sacrifices himself, and it's framed almost exactly in the same way as the Timeless Children is, and it's just like, alright, cool, you're dead then. So then Ji-hun sacrifices himself, world gets restored, Sea Devils go bye-bye, they head back to Madam Ching's ship. She gets her gold to rescue her crew, and then the boy just goes with Madam Ching. It's like, you literally wanted to kill her like half an hour ago, and now you're hugging her. This is another thing I'll say, like, this kid was way too happy considering his dad died like 10 minutes before the events of the episode. Like, what? Why? How? What? And now he wants to travel with the person that was like basically responsible for his dad's death. And like, the thing is, I could see that happening if it had been like, you know, established that he'd like slowly forgiven it. I know that there's the one scene where he saves his life, but that doesn't feel like enough to me, where you go from hating someone's guts to being like, yeah, you know what, I absolutely want to be with you forever, new mum. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you know that bit in Spider-Man 2 when the Spider-Man saves Harry Osborn when the Doc Ock experiment is going wrong, and Harry Osborn's like, this doesn't change anything, and he's like, I have nothing left except Spider-Man. Like, in that instance, despite his life being saved, he still isn't fully recovered from, like, you know, their parent being killed by, you know, the person they presume to have done it. Whereas in this is like, yep, sounds good to me, and they just go off together, and it makes no sense. It feels so weird. And unearned. So they say they're looking forward to a new adventure, they promise a beach. Oh, okay, so this was the bit that caused a bit of controversy for me on the old twitter.com, because I was confused as to how Dan rings Diane in 1802. And apparently, in Flux, the Doctor does something to his phone, which is fine. And I know people were like, well, it should be assumed that the Doctor can always do that, because in End of the World they do it. So yeah, okay, but like, new audiences haven't seen that. But if it was shown in Flux, fair enough, I guess. But I was a bit like confused by that initially on broadcast. Also, the whole thing of Diane calling Dan back, it feels very forced. And what I mean by that is, it feels like, you know, obviously Chibnall knows that the next episode's the last one. They need a reason for Dan to want to stay on Earth after the Centenary. So he goes, right, how do I get Dan back to Earth? I know, I'll have Diane randomly call him at the end of the episode. That'll get him to want to be back on Earth. So that's what they decide to do. They get him back on Earth. And it feels just incredibly forced. Like, I can feel the hand of the writer in this scene, rather than, you know, it feeling like an organic discussion between two characters. Like, there was no hint in The Vanquishers that Diane was ready to move on, you know, that Diane was, like, wanting to be with Dan again. And then 2 episodes later, she's like, yeah, I'm actually really missing you, Dan. Do you want to do a bit of the old rumpy-pumpy? It's like, where did this come from? But yeah, it just feels very, very forced, and like, you know, Chibnall just needed a reason for Dan to go back to Earth. Kind of like, you know, Diane originally was just the reason why Dan went with them in the first place. It's just, Diane's essentially just a, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? She basically just exists to further Dan's plot, which is a bit weird. And then the Doctor goes, "Oh, can we stay as we are, please? I don't want to kiss you." And Yaz goes, "Oh, well, actually, my nan says, you know, I think we should take risks, whatever." And the Doctor's like, "I don't give a fuck." And then they skim a stone. Jodie wishes that, like, their time could last forever, which we know it won't, because there's one episode left. And then they look on the sea, and the credits roll. And yeah, this episode is just so nothing. Like, it's just so uneventful. Like, barely anything happens. Barely anything is achieved. I've gone through it all pretty much scene by scene now. And it only took me about an hour. Like, normally it would take me longer, but there was just nothing going on in this one. Wonder, will Dan leave the Doctor to be a plasterer? I mean, we still haven't seen Dan be a plasterer, despite that being the only thing they let us say. What can I say? What I can say is that, in my opinion, a lot of YouTubers around Dairy subscriber account are quite a bit better than most big YouTubers with over 1 million subscribers. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad the Doctor shuts down the romance stuff. Yeah, it's interesting with that. Like, I don't know logically where they can go with that next, right? Because, like, from what we understand, you know, the Doctor doesn't want to pursue it. But then, like, obviously, in the next time trailer, the Doctor goes, "Yes," when she's about to die. So that, I do think they're still going to end it with, like, a really forced-in kiss akin to Raylo at the end of Rise of Skywalker. Like, I think it's going to be that. But, you know, after this, I do think a Thasmin kiss would feel odd, because the Doctor essentially goes, "Yeah, I don't want to do this relationship thing." Dialect time. Darius is the best YouTuber who deserves more followers, so thank you. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. I appreciate it. Yeah, very, very weird episode. I'm going to take a little break, go answer some questions, and then we're going to go over the next time trailer. Yeah, I'm going to talk about next time trailer, don't you worry. We are going to go over that in just a sec. I'm just going to take a break to answer some questions. Let's put the music back on. She's mid-kiss and River just randomly shows up and slaps her. That would be kind of funny. There we go. Let's get the beat on, right? So yeah, I'm gonna just read some of the questions in the chat, and then we're gonna move on to the next time trailer. And I'm also hoping to discuss some rumors and leaks and stuff that I've seen. So if Legend of the Sea Devils was meant to be a regeneration story, so it makes sense why it's very bland. Yeah, I think this was, like, added in at, like, the 11th hour. Like, there wasn't meant to be this episode. This episode wasn't meant to exist originally. It was meant to just be, you know, Eve of the Daleks and then the regeneration one. So, which is why this one feels so uneventful and kind of pointless, because it's like, it wasn't meant to be here. And I know I've seen people saying, like, you know, I'd rather have this than nothing additional. For me, I'd rather have episodes that at the very least achieve something in the grand scheme of things than like a filler episode that achieves nothing, especially in like a series of specials as well. Like, I know that this marginally walks forward the Yaz plot, but like functionally you could have still done that in the Centenary. You could have had those scenes in the Centenary. Like, you don't really need them to be here now, and it just, I don't know, this whole episode just feels kind of like arbitrary and pointless. So yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Sea Devils reversing the polarity of Earth's poles. Yeah, that's quite a cool reference if it was an intended reference, but do you think Yaz might betray the Doctor? I think it's a possibility. Do you think that there will be no episodes between the Centenary and the 60th special? I hope that there's more, because filming is supposed to start like really soon, and it would be a long production time. So maybe they are secretly planning some extra episodes. I hope they are. If they're not, you know, fair enough. But yeah, I would like it if they were. But I'm not gonna hold my breath on it, because it is like, you know, it's a possibility that they just don't do that. But yeah. Alright. On a scale of 1 to 10, being like crap, how good do you think? Upon like reflection, I'm gonna say like a 3. Like there was like one nice scene, but beyond that, yeah, I think a 3 is where I would put it. When do you think 14 will be announced? Honestly, it depends on what like the plans are going forward in terms of whether they're doing a full-on 14th Doctor new series, or they're doing that like whole 60th multi-Doctor thing to bridge the gap. If they're doing that, then I think we'll be waiting a bit longer for the 14th Doctor, but, you know, I think we will hear something about R3D stuff, whether it be returning Doctors or a 14th Doctor relatively soon, like within the next month, I think. Any time between now and the end of the universe. Very true. You can hear my throat Stridax because I've been talking for an elongated period of time. Yeah, if you are enjoying the stream, be sure to give it a like. Also, you know, if you want to, if you enjoy the content, feel free to super chat. Like, it's not something you have to do, but it really does help out the channel. And if you ask any questions, it'll come up immediately. So yeah, if you want if there's anything you really desperately want me to say, I'll say it. Obviously, you know, don't make it too rude, but yeah. If they don't, I will just make a video about it relating to the wait for Series 2 of... I'm not sure what that show is, but fair enough. Anyways, I have to go now for about 10-15 minutes. Okay, see you. Alright. Shall we get into the Centenary stuff then? Are we ready? We feeling pretty good? You probably don't like the game, but do you think there might be a Doctor skin released in Fortnite? Maybe. I mean, they've already had the map, but it was BBC made. I'd like one. Just for, like, brand tie-in's sake and, you know, making the show more widely known about. But, yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to get into some Centenary stuff. But I'm going to take a bit of a drink first. Who's most likely to return, Martha, Clara, or Bill? Martha, because RTD2, and, like, functionally, she's the one who makes the most sense to bring back, because it's like, you know, with Clara, she's kind of dead, but not really dead. Like, she's alive, but she's paused because of the events of Hellbent, and with Bill, she's a puddle. Whereas Martha, like, you know, I feel like there's more to explore there, because, you know, it's she made the decision to leave of her own accord, so I would say Martha. MH Ollins 989 says they don't have to show 14 for me, just new Sonic, new clothes, new TARDIS interior. Yeah, I do enjoy seeing all that stuff. In fact, yesterday I did record a little collab with JXE for his second channel, talking about how we'd redesign classic Doctor costumes, because Jay wrote her own version of the 60th with Stu Bagful, and we were basically saying, okay, how would we retool the designs for this plot? So yeah, look forward to that on JXE Empress of Milk at some point. But yeah, let's get into the Centenary stuff. Okay, so the beautiful final scene happens. Okay, coming soon. Alright, so first shot, we get Jodie looking sad. Oh, I'm going to turn off the music, actually. Where is it? Hang on. Actually, you know what? It might be easier if I get it up on YouTube so I can pause it and go frame by frame, and maybe I won't get claimed if it's in, like, slow down. Hang on. Let me play it on YouTube. So what I'm gonna do, because YouTube has a playback speed option, I'm gonna play it in like very slow speed. I'm gonna mute it, and we're gonna turn on captions. Okay. Okay, so first shot, Jodie looking sad. Honestly, this one could be in any Doctor Who episode, in the Chibnall era. Like, not much to report here. You know, it's obviously just a generic sad shot because, you know, Jodie's gonna die. If I had to guess, right, I'm gonna say that this scene, this event is happening like towards the end of like the episode. Like this is just before the regeneration. If I had to guess, I could be wrong. Either that or it's at the opening of the episode where like 13's all sad and mopey because death is coming. But I'm reckoning it's the end. Just a guess. So we get that. We get the Dalek reveal. I'm sick of seeing the Time War Daleks. Don't get me wrong, it's cool that they have the plungers back, but I was really hoping either the Daleks was the last outing for them. I did a whole video a while back talking about why, like, I'm kind of ready for a new design. I'll link that in chat if you haven't seen it. Here it is. Oh no, don't play that. Just copy it and put it in chat so you can watch that, but at your own discretion. Oh, we've had a super chat. £10. Love the channel. Bit off topic, but thought a cool idea would be. Thought a cool idea would be if 14 was Dr. Moon from Silence in the Library. That would be quite cool. That would be very cool. I agree. I think it is implied that he is a future incarnation, or at least some fans have speculated that he is a future incarnation. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Or maybe she's getting the fob watch. Yeah, maybe. That's a good thought. Maybe that's why she's looking kind of dreading it, because like she's getting the fob watch. Okay, so there's that first scene, and then if we go back to where was it? Here we are. Just making sure everything's correct. So that's not what I wanted. Okay, we go back to skipping a bit forward. Daleks appear. I am just kind of sick of seeing the Daleks. I did a whole video on why the Time War Daleks need to be retired. Like, here's the thing, right? We've seen, at this point, we've seen the Daleks, the Time War ones especially, right? In the Journey era, we've seen them in Revolution, in Eve of the Daleks, in Once Upon a Time, in the Vanquishers, in the Centenary. Like, and I mean, if you want to count Daleks in general, we've had like, how many Dalek appearances in the Whittaker era at this point? Like, you got Resolution, you've got Revolution, you've got, as I said, so you've got Once Upon a Time, Vanquishers, the Centenary, Eve. So you've got 6 Dalek appearances. I'm just a bit sick of seeing the Daleks, if I'm honest. I don't know why they're back. Like, hang on, let me skip forward. The Cybermen makes sense. Cybermen make sense, you know. I don't know how Ashad's back, but we'll get into that. Like, they make sense because, you know, they were with the Master last time, they sort of allied themselves with them, so I get why the Cybermen are here, but the Daleks, like, they already tried to get their revenge, and even the Daleks, why do they need to be back? And I know that, like, they'll go to any lengths to, like, sort of, you know, get revenge on the Doctor or whatever, but I just don't feel like they need to be here. Like, it just feels like, oh, let's just cram the big 3 in the last episode just because it's cooler. It's like, eh. But yeah, so then we get to the Cybermen and Ashad. Like, I don't know how Ashad is back, because if we look at the Timeless Children, rather, let me get it up on screen. Let me get it up, the exact scene on screen. Where is it? What was I looking for? Oh yeah, the Timeless Children scene. So, if we look here, when I show you in a moment, I need to go down to the bottom of the page. Basically, there's this very useful resource called Tragical History Tour, which adds puts screen caps up from every single Doctor Who episode. It's very handy for videos and stuff. But as we can see, the last time we saw Big Boy Ashad, no, I want to go back. No, I don't want to go to the credits. Leave me alone. No, I'm on the wrong bit. Yeah, the last time we saw Ashad, he's not only miniaturized, but also blown up. So, why is it skipping forward? I don't want to skip forward. Leave me alone. Yeah, last time we saw Ashad, he was miniaturized and exploded. So not sure how he's back for the regeneration story. my assumption would be either, right, it's a past version of Ashad, so it's him before that event occurs, or he gets restored by the Master's tissue compression somehow. Or, you know, the conversion, he's converted enough for it to, like, maintain his body, like, after the explosion. So maybe the explosion reverses the miniaturization. I'm not sure. I'm assuming because time bollocks is going on this episode because of the Master, I'm going to assume it's something to do with time, like time travel. So yeah, we get that line reiterated from the Vanquishers. Then we get our reveal of Big Boy Sacha Dhawan in a much less fun outfit, it has to be said. And we also see Yaz, who, fun fact, is in her attire that we saw her not only whilst filming the Centenary, but also this was what she was wearing when they officially announced that Judy Whittaker and Mandip Gill had wrapped filming on Doctor Who. So yeah, this is definitely final episode. This is the end of the road. This is the day you die. So this is the thing. I thought initially, right, like this is like sort of a pre the Master since we lost her. So this is pre-Spyfall, Dhawan Master. So like just after he regenerated from Missy, and he's a bit more good as a result. But then he says this is the day you die, which kind of implies that it's, you know, a Master revenge plot thing. So I'm not really sure how that works. Maybe it's like, I don't know why he looks younger here and older in the other bit, but still evil in both instances. I'm not sure. Maybe like the old man Master is like a flash forward or something, or like a future scene. I'm not sure. Music, very good subtitle there. Music, and then Jodie's face. This seems to be some form of like I want to analyze the paintings here. My guess is like these are just like random paintings, but they do kind of look like Gallifrey being destroyed. Maybe that's me reading into it. Like it kind of looks like volcanoes as well. But I think this where they're filming here is the church filming for when they were filming the Centenary in July. It's not a church, sorry. It's like a place in Cardiff. I remember seeing it, but it looks very similar to that. So that's where I'm going to guess this takes place, filming wise. Okay, I'm just going to skip forward a bit. Then we get our reveal of Tegan, which was like, wow, okay, that was surprising. I wasn't expecting it. Tegan's just back. Yeah, I'll get more into Tegan a bit later in this teaser, but like, you know, I just really hope that she doesn't mess up either of these characters, because I enjoy both of them. Like, I don't want him to mess them up. At the same time, I am a bit like, you know, I am worried about how he's going to treat these two characters, but we then go to Ace, and they also imply here so that the spin-off material isn't canon here. So obviously, for those of you who don't know, Sophie Aldred, like a couple of years back, wrote a book called At Childhood's End, which was about an older Ace running a Charitable Earth, her company, you know, which anagram is Ace, obviously, and she meets up with the 13th Doctor and Graham, Ryan, and Yaz there. So that's implying that this isn't canon here, which, you know, I'm fine with. I mean, it could be down to time bollocks, right? But to be fair, you know, the show always kind of does ignore this expanded media, but then at the same time, it does feel a bit like, come on, Sophie Aldred literally wrote that, you know? So yeah, so it's been 3 decades for her. And then, now this is what I do have concerns about. This shot here, Tegan uses a gun. And now, it could be fully justified in the plot that they're defending themselves from some Cybermen or some Daleks or whoever. But the last time we saw Tegan, the whole reason she left was, oh, it's gotten too violent for me, it's not fun anymore, Doctor, like, I'm gonna leave. And then the very next thing we see her do in the Centenary is, like, start shooting things. Like, I am worried, like, Ace, I totally buy using a gun, like, makes perfect sense, like, she's always been more inclined to use weapons than, like, the Doctor. But Tegan? Admittedly, if they are defending themselves, which it looks like they are, because it looks like they flipped up a table to try and like give them some cover. That's what that looks like anyway. Then I'm okay with that. I'm also going to stab at, like, this is my guess, right? This is just my guess. We are going to get into some leaks, leaks later on, because I've seen a few. But I'm going to guess that this is unit, and the reason I say that is the map on the wall looks very unity, and if you look very closely, that circular insignia kind of looks like the unit insignia. So I'm going to guess this is like unit headquarters, and what I'm going to guess is going to happen is Kate is going to be recruiting old friends of the Doctor to help during whatever the Master's doing in the Centenary and, all the different monsters. That's my guess. That's why you see Graham back in leaked filming images. That's why you're seeing Ace and Tegan. That's why you might see a couple more familiar faces come along, because Kate's recruiting them, a la Nick Fury in the Avengers. That's my guess. That's my guess as to what's going to happen. So yeah, Ace and Tegan shooting. We then get a shot of Kate Stewart, head of unit, getting captured by some Cybermen. Now this is interesting for Kate, because obviously last time we saw Kate we see her a few times after that, but one of the times we saw Kate, before this era, was in Dark Water, Death in Heaven, and in that episode, her father's corpse, the Brigadier's corpse, gets converted into a Cyberman. So you would think, in this instance especially, she would be afraid of, the Cybermen more so than usual because of what she saw happen to her dad. At least I hope they make reference to that. I doubt it, but, it would be nice. I'm assuming they're just doing regular converty things. This is the thing with the monsters. I'm curious as to whether they're doing an alliance thing, where they're, like, doing a whole Pandorica, like, oh, we're all coming together, because, like, beware of the forces that mass against you and their master. That kind of implies that they are going to be working together. At the same time, like, some of them I'm just not convinced would work together, unless they really justify it. For all we know, that happens later for Ace. What do you mean? The At Childhood's End? No, At Childhood's End is applied to be... Oh, well, it's applied to be Series 11, but I guess it could happen later. Yeah, no, that was the last time that Kate was there, but, like, I think the last time she met the Cybermen, they converted her dad, is what I meant. Unit thing on the ceiling. Yeah, basically, on the map, right, in the background, hang on, let me go back to it. On the map, right, hang on. You can see there's a very, very small circular insignia around here, and I reckon that is... Oh, wrong thing. That is a unit sign. Hang on. Here, I reckon that's a unit sign. I reckon this is unit. I'm almost certain that's where they are here. So yeah, Kate gets off to get converted. Dan looks like he's heading into space on a spaceship. Now this doesn't look like Vinder and Carvanista's ship. This looks like a different ship, so I'll be curious as to the context of them getting the ship here. Also, if you look extremely closely, you can see that Dan is actually holding 13 Sonic Screwdriver. So that implies to me that, he's going to be using it to do some stuff later on in the episode, which is, interesting. Like, I'd assume they're going to get split up, because that's normally what happens anyway, but I think this to me implies that perhaps the Doctor's like a bit of shtuck in this final episode. Maybe she's trapped at some point, and Dan has to go out into space to do something or other. So yeah, and then we get a shot of Vinder. So I think it's a safe bet, right, that if Vinder's coming back, then I think Carvanista and Bell and their baby are also going to be like mentioned in this. Like, it would feel weird for one and not the rest to pop up. I don't know what his role is going to be. Presumably he's just helping out, it's just being recruited like in the same way that like Ace and Tegan have been. I wasn't expecting to see them again, I'll be honest, but guess it kind of makes sense. Because obviously they probably will do the reveal of the baby. We get a nice like parallel shot here. Obviously I'm not saying these happen in chronological order, they almost certainly won't. This is just cut together for the trailer, but we get an interesting parallel here between, hang on, Vinder holding the gun here, aiming at something, and then Yaz doing the same later on, which is, you know, that doesn't really happen with companions in this era. Like, they're very, no, guns are bad. Exploding robots, though, that's fine. Yeah. So that is interesting. A lot of people have speculated, you know, who's she holding the gun to in this instance. You know, a few people have said, oh, is it the Doctor? That would be cool if they were doing a double cross thing. My guess currently is that the Master like gains access to the TARDIS whilst the Doctor's incapacitated, and Yaz is still in there for some reason, and you know she's pointing the gun at the Master. That's my guess, but let me know who you think. I know that some people have memed that it's River, and you know they're gonna have a fight over 13, but yeah. And then we get a shot of Yaz beating up a Dalek. We can even see she's in her original outfit from the 80s. Admittedly, it's weird seeing her in like the same outfit she wore as a teenager. You know, I'm reckoning this could be like in the past, maybe during the Time War. Maybe this is a flashback. If not, you know, it could just be like... Because it definitely looks like they're not on Earth here, right? Like, it looks like they're on some sort of alien terrain, judging by the rock structure. Then again, I suppose the metal girders kind of give the vibe that it is Earth, so I'm not really sure. But it is cool seeing her beat up a Dalek again. That is neat. Sorry, don't go away, Master. I don't want to see you yet. But yeah, I will be curious to see, like, you know, how much screen time Ace and Tegan actually get in this story, because, you know, there's not. You know, obviously, I think we've heard it's 90 minutes. Like, that's the runtime for this episode, right? But, like, at the same time, I'm a bit like, you know, are we gonna... like, how much of that is gonna be, you know, filled up with these characters? Especially seeing as we basically know there's more characters being in this as well. I am concerned that they're kind of just gonna be wasted. And then we get a shot of Rasputin Master, Old Master, and he says, welcome to the end of your existence. Sorry. There also seems to be a Cyberman and possibly a Dalek behind him, because that like blue bit kind of looks like the eye stalk. Could be wrong there, though. His coat here looks a lot darker than it does initially. I think this is definitely a version of like Future Master, right? Like, you know, maybe something goes wrong for him. I don't know what, but yeah, I'm really not sure what's going on with the Master in the story. I think maybe he's trying to take the regeneration energy from the Doctor. Maybe that's why... Okay, here's a theory, right? You know how in Kiss of Fatal Death, the Master's age gets restored by Dalek technology? What if the Master is planning to use regeneration energy to restore his form? You know, maybe when we see him initially, he's in this older form, and then... he uses the Doctor's regeneration energy rather to turn himself back into, you know, Dilfman. And then, so that's explaining why later on we see what looks like him exploiting regeneration energy. The Doctor seems to be encaged. That's either that or it's the fob watch, right? It's the fob watch being opened. Here's the thing about the fob watch, right? If the fob watch isn't opened, it's going to feel weird and unsatisfying, because, like, that's what they've been teasing for, like, last however many episodes, but then at the same time, it's like, if they do open the fob watch, it'll also feel weird, because, like, well, you know, the whole point behind the Vanquishers, or what seems to be the whole point, was that, oh, the Doctor doesn't need the memories. So, I'm a bit, you know... I'm a bit conflicted on the whole watch thing. Because on the one hand, I want some form of payoff, but on the other hand, if they do pay it off, it would kind of go against the character arc. So I am a bit like, I don't know which one I prefer in that instance. Regenerating rather than shaving to get a haircut. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, you know, the Master sort of grew, like, facial hair and looked a bit more rugged when they were running low on regeneration energy, so I can kind of buy it. I saw a theory that the Master is good. Yeah, I've seen this theory. Good and still warning the Doctor, and possibly that would be interesting. You know that scene in Curse of the Fatal Death? Great way to start. Yeah. What did someone say? Someone said something there. They're not bumps. They're etheric beam locators. They detect ion charged emissions and things. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. So then we get. I'm gonna analyze a bit more of the final shot. So we then get basically the Doctor says, "Oh no, I'm gonna die," and then I don't think this is her actual regeneration, as many people point out. I don't think they put that in the teaser. I think it's more of a Series 10 type thing. The energy looks a lot less like regeneration energy and a lot more like fob watch energy, which, if I get it up on my favourite little website, Tragical History Tour, we go on to Future of the Doom, right? The energy that comes out of the, the what's it called? The watchtower, the thingy in that episode, the lighthouse, that's what it's called. I knew what a lighthouse was, shut up. Like, the energy looks more similar to that. Like, you can even see the spirals are in the same place, and, like, it looks a lot more like that than regeneration energy. Like, if you look at this, right? Hang on, can you see it? Just making sure you can. Right, look at this, okay? It looks like regeneration energy. No, that's the wrong page. Look at this, and then look at that. Tell me they don't look the same. Like, they're definitely opening the watch in this scene. I'm almost certain of it. Even though I am still going to use this to clickbait Jodie's regeneration. Like, it even does the whole lighty uppy eyes thing, because it does that to the Fugitive Doctor as well. This is definitely them opening up the watch. I'm 99% confirmed. Like, if I'm wrong, I'll kiss Dennis. I will kiss Dennis. But, like, I don't think I am. I think I'm pretty right here. I think that's what's happening. And then the Doctor screams out for Yaz. And then the teaser ends. And that's it. Which, yeah. I'm basically certain that that's what that is. Who's Dennis? Dennis is the Cyberman. IDK man. I just don't see it. Wait, what don't you see? Wait, yeah, Chris Chibnall had a history of picking and choosing what story elements he uses from New Who for his story, so I'm unsure. Yeah, that's why I'm unsure about the whole thing of him, like, making, like, Missy canon, because it's like, I just don't know whether he'd want to, like, go that in depth into someone else's work, but I could be wrong. The contents of the watch will be Chibnall's final insult to fans. Yeah, I don't know what the contents of the watch are going to be. I tell you what. But yeah, that's basically the Centenary teaser. Let's get the music back on. That's the wrong thing. It's the wrong page. Hang on, did I get rid of the music? That's terrible. I've done a terrible job. Oh, I forgot that it was slowed down. Oh god. That's terrible. There we are. Whew. Alright. Bum, bum, bum. The contents of the watch are going to be stuff we already know about and don't care about, treated like a massive twist. Yeah, I'm not hopeful for the watch at all, to be honest. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to send myself some of the leaks and rumours for the Centenary, and we're going to go over those. So, yeah. The chat is going so fast that I can't say my opinions. Well, super chat them, but I can read them. No, I'm joking. You don't have to, but it is a lot easier for me to see them, because they pop up quite, they're quite big in the chat. You're a better man than me, as I stopped watching after the time, I can't finish the sentence. Timeless Children, I'm guessing. I think Ace and Tegan's return is a little cheap. Yeah, I kind of do agree. It would be way better if they came back earlier, like High School Reunion did it. Yeah, I kind of agree. But, I just hope they don't ruin them. Like, I hope that they're treated well. What if Yaz dies and that's the why she's screaming out for it? That would be quite... The thing is, right, it's difficult with the whole Yaz dying thing, because I kind of want a companion death. At the same time, though, it would be kind of falling into that whole bury a gaze trope thing. So, it's kind of a lose-lose situation there. I want a companion death, because we haven't had one in this era. To be honest, Chips didn't really do anything with Kate's character. She was just sort of stood there. Oh, someone's retracted their message. Chimes Children was an embarrassment. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I think there are worse Chibnall episodes, to be fair, though. I mean, that's not an achievement, but like... Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, what I'm going to do whilst the music is playing, I'm going to just send myself the leaks, and then we're going to get into the final part of the stream. Or maybe not the final part, maybe I'll talk for a bit afterwards. We've been going for almost 2 hours, which is quite good. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Right, let me just send myself, because I've been looking at a bunch of different leaks and stuff from different parts, including Gallifrey Base and IMDb and all these other places. So we're going to go over them, and I'm going to talk about what ones I think are likely and what ones I think aren't. Let me just find them, because I put them on my phone. So, no, I don't want to just share one picture, that's the thing. I want to share multiple pictures, because I'm cool like that. Okay. I think that's everything. IMDb leaks. Yeah, I will say, don't get too hyped for IMDb leaks, because they, I'm pretty sure they can be, like, edited by anyone, but we are going to go over them. I'm going to email them to myself. Hang on. A bit of a weird comment, but if I ever had a background music on a screen, I would have a loop of Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers. Yeah, I just quite like this lo-fi Doctor Who music. I think it's quite chill. Right, okay, I've emailed that to myself now. So, if I check my emails... Should be there. Okay. Right, I've got all of them up, so... the way we should do it is if I open the link in a new tab. Okay, no, that's... Okay, if I... Okay, that's just probably the easier way to go about it. Okay, you ready to see some leaks, everyone? Get some hype for leaks in the chat. Theories, hope, how much hope do you have from 1 to 10? What for the Centenary? Given the last episode, like, I'm really not that hopeful at all. Like, I'm going to go in with the lowest expectations I can and just hope for the best. The thing is, I feel like it's going to be a more fun episode than the Legend was. Legend was just kind of dull and didn't make a lot of sense. Whereas at least with this, I feel like it's probably going to be a mess, but it's probably going to be a fun mess, right? So, we're going to turn off the music, because we're getting into some serious shit. Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, my email's theories21@gmail.com. That's publicly, on my business email. So if you want to send any like art or anything, because I know some people have asked me about that, that's where you send it. But wait, hang on, I haven't put the screen up yet. Don't worry, I will. Give me time. There we are. Okay, so the first one, we have this Doctor Who Centenary special, full cast and crew, obviously directed by Jamie Magner Stone, written by Chris Chibnall, and Tom Baker is listed as the curator. Now, listen, I'm not taking much stock in this, because it is just IMDb, and I think it's able to be edited by anyone. But it is weird seeing Tom Baker's name in the credits. There's also mention of John Bishop, Mark Boner, playing the 11. Wait, who's the 11? I know that guy, but I also don't. Hang on. The 11, Doctor Who. Okay, so let's check who the 11 is. The 11 married Miss Cavell. Oh wait, no, the 11 was the main alias used by an incarnation of a renegade Time Lord who suffered from regenerative dissonance. I don't want to know about their marriage. Like, just, who cares about marriage? Okay, so basically, random Time Lord fucker with a regeneration disorder. Okay, so wait, so is that the guy who played him on Big Finish? I'm not sure. Who plays him on Big Finish? Can someone tell me in chat? Who plays the 11 on Big Finish? Yeah, from Big Finish land. The 11 is a Big Finish creation, been in many stories. I know, I just don't listen to that much Big Finish. He plays him, okay. Sorry I made fun of your name, Mr. Boner, but it was a little bit funny. Where was I looking? Oh yeah, my emails. Okay, so yeah, we have Mark Boner who's playing the 11. Sasha Dewan playing the Master makes sense. Madame Gill, again, makes sense. Joe Martin, again, makes sense. I'm pretty sure Gallifrey 1, she literally said she was in it. So, and then Bradley Walsh and Jodie Whittaker. So the two main outliers here are Mark Boner and Tom Baker. I think on another IMDb listing, they listed Peter Capaldi as well. Hang on. I swear I saw that somewhere. I think it was in my message request. Give me a sec. I'm just not going to show you my messages because that's El Provato. And only I can look at my messages, not you. They're full of secrets you'll never understand. Oh yeah, so this is the one that has Peter Capaldi on it. So yeah, the only difference between this one and the other one is Peter Capaldi's listed. Again, I don't hold much stock in these, like, because it is something that can just be edited by anyone. Obviously, interestingly as well, if you look here, Russell T Davies is listed as an executive producer. Now, while I don't think that's true, it is interesting to note that I said in a previous video that Tegan's actor, Janet Fielding, made reference to the fact that Russell T Davies was also in the conversations about the Centenary, which is interesting to note, but I don't think that means that he's an executive producer, unless he gets an executive producer credit for writing, like, one scene at the end. But yeah, the only real difference here is that Pete Capaldi's added. I don't think this is true, but, you know, the leaks get more extravagant from here, but what we all... I'm giving that a pretty unlikely out of 10, is what I'm giving that. Giving that a pretty, you know, not certain about that one out of 10. Like, I don't think that's happening. Like, I don't think we're going to see Capaldi or Baker in the 60th. There, she has pointing the gun at the Doctor, because if you look closely, you can see the Doctor in her white cloak behind her. What do you think? Can you? Hang on, I want to check that. Gonna duplicate the tab, open link in news tab. Go to history. Oh, I've got 82 people watching, that's cool. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna double check that scene because I want to know now if that's true. No, mute. Because I don't want BBC to claim my ass. Swear to God, if the BBC claim... I've been so careful in this. I can't see Jodie's cloak. Yeah, no, I can't see that. I just looked. I do not see that at all. I can put it on screen, but I don't think it's there. From what I can tell. Anyway, hang on, let me put it on screen. Not that, the other thing. This. Yeah, there's 13's cloak apparently in the eyes. I can't see that personally. Oh wait, no, yeah, wait. 13's behind her. Shit, you're right. Fuck. Sorry. No, I only just noticed. 13 is stood behind her. She's not pointing the gun at 13. If you look very closely, you can see 13's body being hidden. Okay, so that... Oh, I wonder who she's... I reckon... Okay, so if that's the case, sorry, Light, then my theory about it being the Master still stands. Although I don't know why the Doctor would be hiding from the Master. Yeah, no, you're actually right. You're actually right. It is the Doctor hiding behind Yaz there. She is behind her, you are right. Yeah, I just can't see, apparently. Theories with the Tom Baker and Peter Capaldi thing, it might be true, maybe not as past Doctors. But yeah, well, that is one of the leaks that we will get into. They do make reference to some cameos that we will get into. But yeah, I didn't actually notice 13 being behind her, but she definitely is. So that's a cool discovery. But going back into the leaks then, once we've done this one, we've got the next one, which is from Gallifrey Base. Now, I don't know this guy Pascal. I'm sure it's okay if I show his name because it's on a public forum. You can find this. It's on the Gallifrey Base What Called a Friend. He says, now that things have calmed down, here are a few things I've heard from two separate people about the Centennial. Not much, but in case it's interest to you, just don't kill the messenger. So, spoiler. Actually, hang on. I should probably put like a warning up. Hang on, give me a sec. Spoiler, warning. Just don't watch the stream if you hate spoilers. But I assume by this point, if you don't want that, then you wouldn't be watching a stream where I said I was going to talk about leaks and rumors. But yeah, if you care about that, then leave. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, basically, it is potential spoilers. I know it's true, but Dan leaves the TARDIS early on, but ends up joining Companion's support group. Ace and Tegan have the biggest roles, but we will get cameos from a lot of others as well. All the Earth companions who are supposed to be alive make a little appearance. Joe Grant, Polly, Mel, Ian Chesterton even gets a line. Something happens to Yaz where she keeps experiencing the Doctor throughout her lifetime, but not exactly quite right. Meeting Davison, McCoy, Colin Baker and McGann, no Tom Baker. So that does go against the IMDb listing that we'd seen before. It's all there for no good reason, apparently. The fob watch is never opened or addressed again. Well, I would contest that. I would contest that given how it looks in the final shot here. Like, I'm almost certain that's the fob watch scene. Like, I'm almost certain that that's what that is. Hang on, let me go back to the leak. It's all for no good reason, apparently. The fob watch is never opened or addressed again. I think I posted that one before. I would contest that, but at the same time, I'm not expecting it to get a massive focus like I think some people will want it to have, but yeah. What do we think of that one? How are we feeling about that? Okay, so like the idea of, Doctors returning in like cameo form and like the Yaz sort of seeing them, I can kind of see it. The thing with Joe Grant though, Joe Grant I think is true, and I'll get into why I think at least the Joe Grant part is true in a moment. I don't know about Ian and Polly though, but definitely I think the part about Joe Grant is true, and I'll get into why in a moment. But Ace will have K9 and Nitro 9 with her and wish Sarah Jane was like, yeah, it is a shame Liz Sladen is like, but Therese is the new Doctor. True, I am the Doctor. Officially. Will Yaz look in the heart of the TARDIS like in Series 1? Possibly. Could be. But if we go back to the leak again, yeah, I'm thinking, like, it's probably not that likely, but there are elements of this I could see happening, which I'll get into in a moment. But before we do, we did actually have an RTD2 rumour come out of Gallifrey Base the other day. So basically there was a rumour going around on Gallifrey Base that there would be a big reboot coming for Russell T Davies 2. And this is basically their clarification point saying, I've not said it would be a hard reboot and have gone into long detail the reasons why these terms are meaningless in 2022 and even more meaningless in 2024. Tobey Maguire just returned as Spider-Man, they recast Kirk and Spock, Luke Skywalker is made of pixels, etc, etc. Doctor Who in 2024 will be a new and fresh start of something Doctor Who fans have never seen before. Doesn't matter what they call it. My point was, it will be a radically different programme to Classic Who, the TV movie, New Who, and even Chibnall BBC Studios Who, which all gets put into a rather nice descriptor of Legacy Who. It's all there, still existing, still with new stories from tie-in media and spin-offs. You can argue about continuity. That's almost exclusively what this entire forum is for. I don't really think it matters. The first 60 years of Doctor Who will be the sandpit toy box for whatever is next to build the future. Like Marvel and DC Comics are to their film and television counterparts. the greatest pick and mix in all media. So this is interesting for another reason, kind of like, so the sort of vibe this is giving me is kind of like what they do in Marvel Comics, where they're like, you know, the past events, everything in past events still happens, but it's not like overly addressed. So basically, you just kind of get you know, these like scenes of things happening. I think that could be somewhat realistic. I don't know whether they'll call it Legacy Who. William Russell is 97, I don't know. I could see him doing it for one line in the same like vein as what they did with William Hartnell in like the Three Doctors, where it's like, you know, maybe he sits there and delivers like, you know, like how they were on the phone earlier. Like I could see him maybe doing one line, not a big role though. We don't know, but we don't know whether the new Doctor is man or woman, whether they've been cast or. I've DM'd you a leak on Twitter. If you could check it out, that would be sick. Hang on, let me have a look. Just make sure that like my DMs cannot be seen, because I don't want to be doxxed. Okay, okay, so okay, I'll give this a read later. But thank you anyway for the leak. Thank you. I think they've probably been cast, but we don't know who they are yet. And then we have, oh sorry, this next one, right? So this was in response to people reacting to the news of Tegan and Ace returning, and then Kelly MUFC says, okay, for the 60th we need Ace, Tegan and Joe Grant back. And then Katie Manning goes, who knows, XXX, hug, wink. And then again, Marcus Bryan asks, may we see you as well at some point, or is that under wraps as well? And then Katie Manning goes, shrug, wink, kiss. This is kind of following on from what I said in a previous video. I think Katie Manning's basically confirmed, like, she's very, very obviously teasing people with these, like, replies. I think she's coming back. Will River come back? Possibly. I mean, if I don't think. Here's the thing. I think the line in the Legend of Sea Devils was just a one-off reference, but yeah, I think Katie Manning's basically confirmed to be back because she's basically doing the same thing John Barrowman did when he was coming back. I don't think again, when I say William Russell return, I don't think I'd mean it in the sense of like a big role. I mean it in the sense of like, you know, a one-off thing, right? Like a one line. Like I don't think it would be, you know, a long-term thing. Do you think they will keep the Regen top secret until the air date? I don't see how they can unless they do a 60th thing, to be honest. Oh. But listen, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream. My voice is a little bit sort of sore after being talking like pretty much for 2 hours straight. So I'm going to leave for a bit. Thank you all for joining. Much appreciated. Sorry about the weird aspect ratio. I'll sort it out for the next stream. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Alright, goodbye everyone.